power is a double-edged sword. When used correctly, those who wield it can have everything. When used wrongly, they destroy themselves. That's a quick and accurate description of Bo Xilai's story. A major figure alongside Zhou Yongkang, someone who once held the power of life and death in China. Despite being so close, Bo Xilai was ultimately dragged down by Zhou Yongkang. So what happened? I'm Reflections, and this video has been researched and compiled from various sources. If anything is inaccurate or needs correction, please feel free to comment below. Bo Xilai was born on July 3, 1949, the son of Bo Yibo, one of the 8 powerful elders of the Chinese Communist Party. The 8 elders were a group of senior leaders who played a significant role in founding the People's Republic of China. With such a prestigious background, Bo Xilai not only had access to excellent education and a favorable political environment, but also the ability to connect with influential figures from a young age. However, his political journey wasn't always smooth. During the Cultural Revolution, his father was imprisoned, and Bo Xilai was forced into labor reform. But after Mao Zedong's death, both quickly regained their status and set their sights on rising through the political ranks. Bo Xilai graduated from Peking University with a degree in history and philosophy, a solid foundation for his political career. He was seen as a princeling in Chinese politics, cultivating a natural and credible public image through the media, marking a departure from the typically reserved demeanor of Chinese political figures. Notably, he could have become China's president had he not fallen from grace in a power struggle in 2012. Before that, he built a robust career, rising to prominence during his tenure as mayor of Dalian and governor of Liaoning province. From 2004 to November 2007, he served as Minister of Commerce. Between 2007 and 2012, he was a Politburo member and party secretary of Chongqing. Bo Xilai's political career began in Dalian, a major port city in Liaoning province. There, he was appointed party secretary and later mayor. Under his leadership, Dalian transformed with modern infrastructure and a booming tourism industry. These achievements helped Bo Xilai craft an image as a visionary leader, elevating the city to new heights. His success in Dalian opened bigger opportunities. In 2004, he was appointed China's Minister of Commerce. In this role, he promoted international trade, particularly expanding economic ties with Western countries. These accomplishments made him a rising star among senior politicians and a prominent figure in the Chinese Communist Party. In 2007, Bo Xilai further solidified his legacy when he was appointed party secretary of Chongqing, one of China's largest cities. In Chongqing, he introduced the Chongqing model with 2 main pillars. First, promoting revolutionary songs to ignite patriotism and loyalty to the party. Second, launching a large-scale campaign to crack down on organized crime, which captured national attention. These successes made him a hero in the eyes of many, and the Chongqing model became a symbol of innovation. However, behind these achievements, problems began to surface. The above-the-law approach in his anti-corruption campaigns, combined with concerns about his unconventional style, made Bo Xilai a controversial figure. Financial and power-related scandals gradually emerged, dimming his once shining reputation. Despite this, his success in Chongqing fueled his ambition to join the Standing Committee of the Politburo, China's most powerful body. To achieve this, he didn't hesitate to flaunt his achievements and cultivate a populist image. However, this ambition made him a target for many political rivals within the party. Internal conflicts, coupled with his misuse of public funds, and efforts to cover up personal scandals, pushed him to the brink of collapse. Ultimately, Bo Xilai's illustrious career ended in tragedy. So how did it unfold? His case not only exposed the dark side of power, but also revealed a vast network of interests involving high-ranking officials in politics and business. Let's dive into the first scandal. The wiretapping campaign was part of an effort to combat crime and maintain political stability in Chongqing. Bo Xilai initiated an electronic surveillance program aimed at establishing a comprehensive wiretapping system, collecting data from phones and the internet to monitor political rivals and senior party leaders. Described as an all-encompassing surveillance network covering communications and the internet, this operation was executed by Wang Lijun, Chongqing's police chief, and Bo Xilai's right-hand man, who served as the architect of this government-funded project. According to sources close to China's leadership, Bo Xilai attempted to monitor nearly every senior leader who visited Chongqing. In August 2011, a phone call between Hu Jintao, chairman of the Central Military Commission, and anti-corruption official Ma Wen was discovered to have been recorded under Bo Xilai's orders. This revelation led to a tense investigation by the Central Commission for Discipline Inspection, resulting in an official probe and Bo Xilai's removal from the Politburo. The investigation was triggered when Wang Lijun, under scrutiny and arrested, exposed Bo Xilai's involvement in wiretapping senior leaders, leading to his dismissal and investigation for serious disciplinary violations. This scandal severely damaged Bo Xilai's credibility within the Communist Party and marked the end of his ambitious political career. However, the beginning of Bo Xilai's downfall was sparked by the mysterious death of Neil Haywood, a British businessman who was a close advisor and friend of Bo's family. In 2011, Haywood was found dead in a Chongqing hotel. Initially, his death was reported as an alcohol overdose, but the truth soon came to light. Bo Xilai's wife, Bo Xilai, poisoned Haywood following a financial dispute. Investigations revealed that Haywood knew too much about the family's shady dealings, including allegations of forced organ harvesting and trafficking in the bodies of Falun Gong practitioners. Haywood was also believed to have been directly involved in these illicit activities, acting as an intermediary to secretly transfer large sums of money abroad for the Bo family. Bo Xilai was arrested and sentenced to death, though the execution was suspended. The case caused a political earthquake, raising questions about Bo Xilai's role in the murder and whether he was involved in covering up his wife's crimes or other corrupt activities. Additionally, Bo Xilai sparked controversy with his role in the crackdown on Falun Gong. Falun Gong, a spiritual movement, became a target of intense suppression under Bo Xilai's leadership. As party secretary of Dalian and later governor of Liaoning, he was accused of actively participating in this campaign. Liaoning, under his leadership, was alleged to be a hub for some of the most severe abuses, including detention, torture, and forced organ harvesting from Falun Gong practitioners. Behind these actions were clear political motives. The crackdown was not only about enforcing government policy, but also a strategic move by Bo Xilai to demonstrate loyalty to senior party leaders, hoping to gain political support and advance his career. However, international human rights organizations and Western governments condemned his role in the campaign. Some organizations accused him of direct involvement in serious human rights violations, filing lawsuits against him in countries like the United States and Canada. Reports indicate that Bo Xilai faced 14 lawsuits in 13 countries for charges, including torture, genocide, and crimes against humanity. While these allegations were not directly addressed in his trial, they significantly tarnished his international reputation. For many, these issues are inseparable from his controversial legacy. But that's not all. Under Bo Xilai's leadership in Chongqing, the city saw aggressive anti-crime campaigns that many criticized as violent and serious violations of human rights. While these campaigns were officially aimed at eliminating crime and maintaining social order, they employed extreme measures and lacked protections for basic citizen rights. First, there were extrajudicial executions. A notable aspect of Chongqing's anti-crime campaign was the use of violent measures, including executing suspects without public trials. Reports indicate that in some cases, suspects were killed without judicial oversight, leading to accusations of power abuse and lack of transparency in the justice system. Imagine being targeted by someone in power and executed without a trial or clear reason. Second, violence was used during investigations. Security forces under Bo Xilai's direction were reported to have used physical violence to force confessions from suspects, raising doubts about the legality and ethics of these campaigns. This method of coerced confessions was criticized as a violation of fundamental human rights. Third, there was a citizen duty system. The Chongqing government, under Bo Xilai's leadership, implemented a strict social surveillance system requiring citizens to participate in monitoring and reporting crimes. However, these crackdowns, including efforts to dismantle criminal gangs, often failed to distinguish between right and wrong, implicating innocent individuals and organizations without clear evidence. This led to a lack of privacy protections and misuse of personal information for security campaigns. Finally, corruption emerged within the anti-crime efforts. Some police officials, under pressure from Bo Xilai, were found to have engaged in corruption during these campaigns, creating a cycle of power abuse that exacerbated human rights violations and systemic injustice. Despite all these scandals, the fatal blow to Bo Xilai came from his right-hand man, Wang Lijun. Wang, a close ally who helped Bo Xilai execute the anti-crime campaigns, saw their relationship quickly deteriorate. In 2012, Wang fled to the U.S. consulate in Chengdu seeking asylum, bringing sensitive documents that accused Bo Xilai of covering up his wife's crimes and engaging in large-scale corruption. This not only cost Bo a key ally, but also made him a target of party investigations, impacting the powerful figure behind him, Zhou Yongkang. As the case came to light, Bo Xilai's corruption scandals were exposed. First, embezzlement and bribery. Bo was accused of accepting millions of dollars in bribes from businessmen in exchange for lucrative projects in Dalian and Chongqing. Second, abuse of power. He was found to have used his political influence to protect business partners and his family while covering up scandals. Third, unexplained wealth. The Bo family amassed a vast fortune, including real estate, foreign bank accounts, and investments transferred abroad through covert transactions. So, how did Bo Xilai become so wealthy? He was not only a key player, but also the central figure in a power network stretching from Chongqing to Beijing. At the top was Zhou Yongkang, a standing committee member and former Minister of Public Security, one of Bo Xilai's most powerful allies. Zhou controlled a massive budget and a nationwide surveillance network, supporting Bo Xilai's anti-crime campaigns in Chongqing and shielding him from political rivals. Both were accused of building a corruption network to consolidate power and gain economic benefits. Zhou Yongkang was directly implicated after Wang Lijun's defection to the U.S. consulate. Additionally, Bo's family, particularly his wife Bo Xilai, played a significant role in financial manipulation and profiteering. She was directly involved in Neil Haywood's murder and the transfer of family assets abroad. Bo Xilai's case also exposed a corruption network spanning real estate, finance, and state-owned enterprises, which not only brought economic benefits, but also sustained his political influence. But as the saying goes, if you play with fire too long, you'll get burned. In 2013, Bo Xilai faced a public trial, a rare occurrence for a senior politician. The trial not only focused on charges of corruption, abuse of power, and bribery, but also exposed his lavish lifestyle and complex family relationships. Bo tried to deny the allegations, even criticizing witnesses and the legal system, but the evidence was overwhelming. Ultimately, Bo Xilai, former Chongqing party secretary, was convicted of corruption and bribery throughout his political career. According to the indictment, he was accused of accepting bribes totaling 26.8 million yuan, about 4.4 million, and embezzling 5 million yuan from a public housing project in Dalian. He was sentenced to life imprisonment, stripped of all political rights, and had his personal assets confiscated. Once celebrated for his talent and boldness, he lost everything due to ambition and greed. This case helped the Chinese public better understand the need for transparency and accountability in governance. Naturally, the fall of Bo Xilai's empire had repercussions for politics, public trust, businesses, and international relations. First, politics. Bo Xilai's downfall occurred just before Xi Jinping took power in 2012. As a potential candidate for the Standing Committee, his scandal eliminated a major rival, helping Xi Jinping consolidate power. This paved the way for the Strike Hard at Tigers and Flies anti-corruption campaign. Following the case, Xi Jinping launched a massive anti-corruption drive, targeting senior officials like Zhou Yongkang, Xu Kaiho, and Ling Jihua. The Yao case reshaped the political landscape and became a turning point, allowing Xi Jinping to build an image as a strong leader, intolerant of corruption. As for public trust, while the Communist Party tried to restore justice, many citizens saw the case as evidence of systemic corruption within the government. Bo Xilai's once for the people image was reversed, replaced by disillusionment with the leadership. The Chinese public became more aware of the dangers of concentrating too much power in one individual or faction. In terms of economics and business, many entrepreneurs who worked closely with Bo Xilai were investigated, causing disruptions in local economic relationships in places like Dalian and Chongqing. Businesses that relied on connections with officials were warned against exploiting power for profit. The case also led to increased government oversight of economic transactions and forced businesses to adhere to stricter legal standards. International financial transactions, especially asset transfers abroad, became targets of intense scrutiny. Regarding international relations, the Falun Gong crackdown drew strong criticism from international human rights organizations. Allegations of torture, forced labor, and organ harvesting increased pressure on the Chinese government to improve its global image. The case also provided the world with deeper insight into how China's political system operates, including internal power struggles and the use of legal mechanisms to eliminate rivals. This made other countries more cautious in their dealings with China. Ultimately, Bo Xilai's case is one of the most significant legal events in modern Chinese history, sending a clear message about the government's determination to tackle corruption at all levels. For us, the lesson is clear. No matter how much money you have, dirty money will eventually vanish like dust in the wind. You may not profit, but you'll certainly face consequences. If you'd like us to cover other topics related to Chinese politics, please comment below. If this video gets enough views, I'll create another one analyzing the figures you request. This video was compiled from various sources, so if anything is incorrect or needs clarification, please leave a comment. I'm Reflections. Goodbye, and see you next time.